Hello students, as I said before, today we are going to discuss Coulomb's law. This is our second class. Coulomb's law states that the force between two charges is directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of the two charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them and acts along the line joining them. You have already got the notes, that's why no need to show the notes clearly here. So only listen whatever I am saying. You look at this expression. Whatever law says, F is proportional to Q1 into Q2 divided by R square. Law says product of the charges Q1 and Q2 and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. Here R is the distance between the charges. Look here at the figure. This is the figure. Here is the Q1 situated and here is the Q2 situated, and the R is the distance between them. Here look, F21 is nothing but force on charge 2 due to Q1, and it is directed along this direction, and F12 is the force on charge 1 due to charge 2. It is directed along this direction. You can easily see that these two forces are in opposite directions, and the law says their magnitude is same. Since you look at the expression, proportional to Q1 Q2 means both Q1 and Q2 appear in the expression. That means magnitude is same for both. Now if you convert this proportionality sign into equal sign, you have to put one constant of proportionality here, K, and experimental value of constant of proportionality is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. It is, if you count it, it will become 9 into 10 to the power 9. The new term epsilon naught is called the permittivity of free space. Permittivity. Okay. Its value is given also. What exactly permittivity is, you will understand later on in the chapter, not right now actually. It will be explained whenever we shall go through dielectrics. Okay, so forget it for the moment, just remember its value and know what it is. It is called permittivity of free space. That's all. Next, you can see also here I have written here F12 is equal to F21, but this is partially incorrect because these are vectors and in opposite direction. That's why I will put here one negative sign here. Now it is correct. F12 is equal to F21, that is from the magnitude point of view, but since they are vectors, they are in opposite directions, so there will be one minus sign on one of the sides. Okay, now come to forces between multiple charges. Now we shall see, so far we have studied the force between two charges only. Now suppose there are three charges. This is origin O. One charge Q1 is placed at position vector R1, another one at position vector R2, and third charge Q3 is placed at a position vector of R3. Now we shall find out what could be the force on Q3 because of this Q1 as well as Q2. Always remember, force on any one charge due to another charge is independent of any effect from a third charge. To be more clear, here you can see force on Q3 due to Q1 is your F31, force on 3 due to 1. I want to say that this F31 is independent of any factor or any effect arising from this Q2. That means this Q2 cannot change or alter the value of this F31. Of course, Q2 will apply another force on Q3, that is F32. Okay, but it has nothing to do with F31. Okay, now got it. Now total force on Q3 is now this one and this one. So net force will become the resultant of F32 and F31. Whatever direction it is going, no matter. But the resultant of F31 and F32 is the net force on Q3. Got now? So this is forces between multiple charges. Similar is the case for Q1 and Q2. If you want to find out force between Q1 and Q2 and Q1 and Q3, that means you want to find out net force on Q1 due to Q2 and Q3, you have to follow through the same procedure as it was done for Q3. Okay. Next topic is electric field. The term field means, of course, it is referring to surrounding. So electric field is the surrounding of a charge where the force due to it can be experienced by another charge. Simply, you put a charge in the vicinity or surrounding of another charge, it will obviously experience force. So the surrounding where another charge is placed and experiences force is called electric field. But how can we measure this electric field? To measure it, we have to put some formula. How? Look here, the formula. Electric field, here R means it is the point where we are finding the electric field. Of course, electric field is the effect due to a charge, some charge. This charge is called source charge. In this case, source charge is your Q. Okay. Now, electric field at a point whose position vector is R is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. R cap means the direction of electric field. Actually, electric field is a vector and it is directed away from the charge Q. I am showing you how it is. Suppose this is the charge Q placed here and it is placed at origin O. Okay, mark two axes here. Okay, x axis, y axis. If you draw a vector here and put here a point that is P, and point P's position vector is R. Now come to the formula. Formula says electric field at a point, here R means the magnitude of the position vector of the point. Here magnitude of the position vector is your R. Magnitude of position vector is R. So the formula says ER is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. Okay. Of course, R cap is the unit vector along the R vector. Okay. Now, if you simplify it, look, we already know F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q by R square. What is the small q here? Look here. Suppose I will place a small q charge at this point P. Now this capital Q will apply Coulomb force on the small q. That force is nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. Okay. But we have already known that 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square is your electric field. So it will become EQ. Okay. this implies your F of R, of course this electric field is the field at position R. That means whatever force this small q is experiencing, that also depends on this R or not. So now the force will also become dependent on R. Now F of R is equal to Q E R. Okay, this is the relationship between F and E. Okay, here the E is called electric field, but we actually casually call it electric field. Actually this is called electric field intensity. Electric field intensity is nothing but the measure of electric field at a point. So casually we are calling it electric field, but actually it is electric field intensity. Okay, so much for today. We shall discuss in the next class our next topic, electric field due to a system of charges. Thank you.